home runs scored by varsity baseball and softball team. The 22 local Scooters Coffee Taylorville thank you for your business. Amazing people, amazing drinks, amazingly fast.
This is Staff Meteorologist Paul Trombley with your regional radio forecast. Overcast skies today with daytime highs approaching 33. Winds out of the northeast, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Cloudy skies expected tonight. Lows level off around 24. Highs level off around 36. Tomorrow, sunshine mixed with clouds at times. Get weather anytime by calling 824-6101 or online at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com. Right now, 27.
WTIM.
You're listening to WTIM, your information station. Time now for your expanded local news. I'm Reed Kamai. Illinois State Police are investigating a crash that killed one person on Tuesday morning. Illinois State Police were called out to Illinois Route 32 in Stewardson just after 6 that morning. The crash involved a semi-truck and a passenger vehicle. The driver of the passenger vehicle was reported to be dead at the scene of the crash. According to ISP, Illinois Route 32 was closed for an extended period of time for an investigation and follow-up reports. Stay tuned to Regional Radio for more details as they become available. Taylorville firefighters were called to a structure fire at the Taylorville McDonald's on West Spresser Street just before 4:30 Monday afternoon. Crews arrived to find smoke inside the building and coming from a rooftop unit. Maintenance workers were able to put out the rooftop fire before firefighters arrived, but crews then discovered an additional fire inside the ductwork. Firefighters extinguished the remaining flames and conducted extensive overhaul to remove smoldering materials from the building. No injuries were reported. The fire is believed to be accidental, and crews were on the scene for about an hour and a half. The restaurant was closed on Tuesday, but officials are hoped to open as soon as possible. The many state and federal elections coming up in Illinois place the drawing of congressional districts for both levels front and center again. While other states have made headlines in 2025 for potential redistricting ahead of the midterms, Illinois' current maps have also been the subject of discussion. The shapes of certain districts have led some experts to consider the state's districts for the U.S. House to be gerrymandered. The difference in House representation compared to statewide election results in 2024 have further amplified these claims. Dr. Kent Redfield is a professor emeritus of political science at the University of Illinois Springfield. Regarding the U.S. House, he highlights the 13th and 15th congressional districts' shapes and their political representation. The 15th district encompasses Christian County, among many others, while the 13th cuts through several counties bordering Christian County.
And, that's purely, the 13th is designed to elect a Democrat, and the 15th is what's left over. We got to have a certain number of people in a congressional district, and so you take people from one side of the 13th and people from the other side of the 13th, and put it into this district that Congressman Miller has. So that's it's very districts. What you want is legislative districts to make sense. Make sense to the representative, the congressman, make sense to the people living in it, so that you've got a basis, you've got communities of interest.
The maps used for the General Assembly at the state level are also drawing attention. This includes the 48th Senate District, which covers parts of Sangamon, Christian, and Macon counties, and the districts surrounding the 48th.
You've got a part of Decatur and a part of Springfield in a district and in a Senate district, and that elects a Democrat. And you can argue, well, these are two urban areas, and they've got that in common. But you go back and you look at the history, and Decatur used to elect a Democrat. A district in Decatur used to elect a Democrat, by a district centered around the city of Decatur. Between 2000 and the 2010-12 election, that was kind of the culmination of a decade of Democrats not being able to elect a Democrat from Decatur. And so their solution was, well, we'll take the Democrats in Decatur and we'll connect them to the Democrats in Republican, and that'll give us a Democratic seat in the legislature.
Dr. Redfield says gerrymandering at any level is linked to lower turnout in elections, along with more extreme candidates on either side of the aisle being elected.
When you do gerrymander districts, they tend to be overwhelmingly one party or the other, so that the primary is the election, which pushes your candidates to the left or the right, and you tend to send more extreme people to Congress or to the state legislature. That's and when you get those situations, people don't they don't participate. All the decisions are made in the primary. You get to the general election, which a lot more people vote in, and you look and you've got a bunch of Democrats running opposed or a bunch of Republicans running unopposed, and so people they kind of I don't know these people. Nobody's representing me.
As for the individual voter in a gerrymandered district, Dr. Redfield says they may feel less connected to the legislator representing them.
Yeah, it's hard to know. You want to have communication and trust between the people in the district and the person that's representing. You want to believe that this representative knows my district. They are, quote unquote, one of us, and that's the basis for, a bipartisan kind of compromise if you've got communication and trust. But when you change the boundaries and create, these gerrymander is that comes from salamander, and that was the way somebody described a district in Massachusetts. People don't know their legislator.
More information on UIS's political science program is available at uis.edu/SPIA. Dr. Kent Redfield appeared as a guest on the WTIM Morning Show. And this portion of the WTIM expanded local news is sponsored by TCCU.
Life moves fast and your banking should keep up. This is Will Perkins. At Taylorville Community Credit Union, managing your money is easier than ever. With our 24/7 online banking and mobile app, you can check your balance, transfer funds, and pay your bills. Anytime, anywhere, safe, secure, and just a tap away. For more information, call or stop by one of our local branches. TCCU, local banking that goes wherever you do. Member NCUA.
As people across central Illinois ring in the new year, as many people probably already have, law enforcement is urging drivers to make safety a top priority, especially when it comes to impaired driving. According to the Illinois Department of Transportation, alcohol and drug impairment remain a leading cause of serious and fatal crashes during the New Year's holiday. Officers say many of those crashes are entirely preventable. State and local police were expected to be out in force through New Year's Day, conducting stepped-up patrols and sobriety checkpoints aimed at keeping impaired drivers off the road. Authorities are reminding partygoers to plan ahead before celebrating. That means designating a sober driver, using a rideshare device or service, or arranging a safe ride home. Police say even a short drive after drinking can have deadly consequences. Drivers are also encouraged to watch for others who may be impaired and to call 911 if they see a vehicle being driven dangerously. In addition to drunk driving concerns, officers are urging everyone to slow down, buckle up, and stay alert, especially during late night and early morning hours when visibility is low and roads may be slick. Law enforcement says the goal this New Year's isn't to issue tickets, but to make sure everyone gets home safely. Families with young children are being encouraged to apply for the CEFS Head Start 0 to 5 program, which is now taking enrollment applications. The federally funded program provides early childhood education and support services for pregnant women and children from birth through age 5, including children with significant or multiple special needs. Early Head Start serves children ages 0 to 3 and pregnant women through a home based program with weekly visits. Head Start is available for children aged 3 to 5 through a center based program that includes nutritious meals and snacks. Locally, the program is offered at 2 locations. The Taylorville site is located at 1104 West Spresser Street, while the Pena location is at 721 East Washington Street. Parents interested in enrolling can call 217-994-4753 or email jeannie.williams@cefseoc.org. Additional information is available by calling the CEFS Head Start program or online through CEFS. Hormone replacement therapy, or HRT, is becoming more widely used than in years past for those undergoing menopause and other body-related transitions. An analysis by Precedent Research shows the HRT market is expected to grow by nearly 70% over the coming 9 years. The rise in use is attributed to an increased understanding of bodily functions, the treatment itself, and how it has evolved. One major change over the years has been the introduction of bioidentical hormone replacement therapy, or BHRT. Kate Servi, a nurse practitioner at Springfield Clinic Taylorville, says BHRT is designed with hormones similar to those of the human body.
Hormones in general are agents of change in our body. So they're made from endocrine cells and they specialize in certain organs. So you have hormones in your adrenal gland, your pituitary gland, your pancreas, your ovaries, etc. So there's all kinds of hormones in your body. They circulate throughout your body and into the bloodstream, and they directly and indirectly affect every cell in our body. So they're very important. And this kind of leads into menopause, and there's actually 6,000 women a day who go into menopause. So this is a huge topic. And menopause is a natural process. It's a decline in communication in the endocrine system. So all those hormones start to not work quite right together. And so it's something that is a big topic, and many women experience a number of symptoms associated with the lack of hormones or the hormone shifts.
Brenda Heeman is another nurse practitioner at Springfield Clinic Taylorville. She says BHRT and even simply HRT are meant to counter the many signs of hormonal imbalance that can happen during menopause and other health-related events.
Let's just talk about hormone imbalance. They can cause irregular cycles, mood changes, weight gain, acne, hair changes. Low estrogen often have symptoms like daytime hot flashes for our menopausal women, irregular absent menstrual cycles, fatigue, low energy, decreased libido, bone loss, cognitive changes, and memory loss. Progesterone is another female women hormone, which can cause evening, night flashes, heavy or prolonged menstrual bleeding, sleep disturbances, increased risk for endometrial hyperplasia, difficulty conceiving, anxiety, new onset or no previous complications of anxiety. And then low testosterone, sometimes we feel that that's just for men, but women also make a lower dose of testosterone, and women can have decreased libido, fatigue, decreased stamina, muscle loss, mood changes, depression, decreased motivation, and cognitive dullness.
Bioidentical HRT is believed to be generally more effective than the traditional synthetic HRT, but there are risks in certain situations.
So in general, you want to use bioidentical hormones because the body recognizes them. In general, if you're going to be on estrogen replacement therapy, oral is not recommended. Typically, we recommend to use transdermal estrogen. It will also provide systemic effects, and we usually start with a low dose on it and then go up from there. Progesterone, same thing. When we looked at the women's health study and the increased risk of breast cancer, it was seen using synthetic progestin, but actually oral micronized progesterone can be used, and it actually reduces the risk of breast cancer. the two are different. And so when we talk about bioidentical versus not, synthetic progestin, if you look at the molecular structure, which I won't bore you with all of that, it looks entirely different than progesterone. And actually, you can give progesterone to somebody who's pregnant, but you cannot give progestin because it's toxic.
Like most prescription drugs and other treatments, there are risks with any form of HRT. However, they are typically based on individual health factors.
There's also some risk, but in general, it's pretty safe for women who are less than 60 and within that 10 to 20, 10 years from menopause. There is, everybody is really concerned about hormone replacement therapy and breast cancer risk. But honestly, it depends on the type of hormone therapy you're using. So we've already talked about the synthetic versus bioidentical. It also depends on how long you're using it, prior exposures, genetic risks. And so there's a lot of factors that go into the risk for breast cancer. Systemic hormone therapy is generally not advised, but you can use it topically and locally in survivors of breast cancer. And of course, breast cancer screening is advised for all postmenopausal women. Progesterone, the oral micronized, reduces the risk of breast cancer. And so if you're using the progestin, that can increase the risk of breast cancer, actually. And that's what the studies are showing.
More information on Springfield Clinic is available at springfieldclinic.com. Kate Servi and Brenda Heeman appeared as guests on the WTIM Morning Show. And this part of the WTIM Morning Show has been sponsored by CNB Bank and Trust.
At CNB Bank and Trust, we believe banking should feel personal. Our checking accounts are designed to make everyday life easier with local service, modern tools, and a team who knows your name. We've been growing with our communities for generations, helping families and farmers and small businesses reach their goals. Because here, you're more than an account number, you're our neighbor. CNB Bank and Trust, helping to open doors since 1854. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Illinois FFA's first ever state sentinel is enjoying her term. Paige Sirens of Anawan was elected to the seat last June. It is now the sixth major state officer position within Illinois FFA.
Believe that.
Sirens was at last month's Illinois Farm Bureau annual meeting in Chicago. A community leader helping correct a food desert in the Metro East area, Dr. Ed Hightower, is investing $3.5 million of his own money to bring a grocery store to Venice, Illinois. Ground was broken last month. The state is investing $2.4 million for the project. Hightower currently serves on the SIU Board of Trustees and is a retired Edwardsville School District superintendent and former Big Ten basketball official. The new chair of the Illinois Farm Bureau Young Leader Committee says agriculture takes on many forms in Illinois and covers a wide array of geography, and he's looking forward to representing all interests. Garrett Williams is from Richland County. Michael Bernhard from the Kendall Grundy Farm Bureau is the new vice chair of the Illinois Farm Bureau Young Leader Committee. Now to obituaries, which can be found at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com. 71-year-old Deborah Bergman from Edinburgh died December 22nd. Visitation is today from 5 till 8 at Masterson Funeral Home in Kincaid. The funeral service is tomorrow from 11, also at Masterson Funeral Home in Kincaid. Burial will be at Thomas Anderson Cemetery. Funeral arrangements are being handled by Masterson Funeral Home in Kincaid. And 77-year-old Roy Prose of Taylorville died December 24th. Visitation is Sunday from noon till 2 at a Sally Funeral Home in Morrisonville. The funeral service will immediately follow. Burial with military honors will be at a later date. Funeral arrangements are being handled by a Sally Funeral Home in Morrisonville. Get local news anytime at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com and every hour as well right here on WTIM.